You're there, but are we? Oh, here we are.
We're going to give them the answer to that question real quick. Mentally, we are not here.
No, definitely not.
Listen, I got nothing for you today. Literally, I got nothing to talk to you
Good
about.
morning, people.
My dress is all.
Oh, here, Pam, I'm sorry. You were waiting to watch here at work. Well, we were a little late to the party.
We were a few seconds
Phyllis
late.
wants to get the party started.
Well, the party is going to be on
work
you.
while the boss is away. All right.
You're going to have to tell us what we're talking about today because
We got nothing.
this is what I have for you. Okay? This is what I have. I want to show you a trick that Barb can't do. We're going to teach her. We're going to teach her, and I'm going to teach you. You're going to do it. You're going to take this. We're going to do it at the same time. If you have problems opening plastic bags, this is where we've come to in 3 years. These two fingers.
I got these two fingers. Okay.
On the part that zips.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Roll your index finger back. What are you doing? Roll your finger back. Honey, what are you doing? Now roll that back.
I did.
Hold it tight. Okay, you work on that.
This is what it's come to.
I used to work in a jewelry store a long time ago. Actually, it's where I met Eric. That's a long, not nice. Well, it's kind of one of those stories. So listen, don't say that word. You can't say that on YouTube. I used to work in a jewelry store. Is where I met my husband. And we had a jewelry vendor who had really big callousy fingers because he cut stones all day long. And I couldn't open the stupid little bags. And Wayne went like that.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Did you do it?
Ooh.
Oh, okay. You got it started.
It's open.
Listen, you can't teach a dog. I'm not going to say an old dog. You can't teach a Barb dog new tricks.
That's why Sean does all those little bags. Exactly. With the screws, because I can't open them.
And that is all we have for you today.
Okay.
Seriously, it's been a very busy week, but I have nothing to show for it because I'm prepping for Tennessee. So I've been cutting kits and like making tumblers and shipping templates. And also, thanks a lot to all of you that give credit to Eric for every template that gets shipped out. I do some of them.
She does a lot of them.
And Sue Smith was here the other day and she goes, "Oh, packing templates." And Eric gets all the credit. And I'm like, yes, he does. And he thinks it's great. He also had a doctor's appointment for his foot. And they were like, "Oh, your feet look great. Keep doing what you're doing." And I was like, "Did you mention that I'm also the one?" And he was like,
that takes care of it.
No. So we split template duties. And I take care of that man's 9-toed feet. And he gets all the credit for everything. Which is rude. Very rude. Just saying.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I only have 2 things to tell you, and then we're here to answer questions.
Right. I better pay attention.
You can ask any question you want because otherwise we're going to be done by 11:04. So this has nothing to do with anything except it made me laugh a lot. I was looking online to try to find something, and I thought it said, this is not the part that was funny, Al Pacino is dead at 83. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. That's not what it said. Al Pacino is a dad. I saw the and I was like, oh, Al Pacino died. He didn't. He is a father at 83 years old. I feel like I need to share that shock with the rest of you.
Yeah.
So Al Pacino is alive and obviously doing well.
Obviously, yeah.
Better than some of us. He's making babies.
Oh, dear.
So the only other thing I wanted to tell you in case you missed it, and then, guys, I'm not kidding. I literally have nothing else to tell you or show you. It's your choice. We're going to have a pick your own adventure day.
There you go.
And you tell us what we're doing. And we're either leaving or you're going to tell me what you want. In case you are not in the So Magical Expo group, which is it's a public Facebook group. If you've gone to any shows or have interest in going to any, you should join because then you'll see the announcements. You can also sign up for their newsletter, I believe, on their website. They have announced some dates and some events for 2024. And I'm telling you this in case you missed it, so you can start to plan because we all have to plan in advance. Mm-hmm. There's only going to be 2 shows next year. They are doing Tennessee and Florida. They're not doing Texas next year. Please don't ask me why, because I have no decision-making part in that. That's not my thing. Tennessee is going to be August 30th through September 1st of next year. We're talking 2024. So don't go this year. And Florida will be October 18th through the 20th. There are other events, but all the details aren't out there yet. But from what Kayla has released, and she is very sneaky and only likes to put little tidbits out. I know there's contracts and stuff, but I just think she likes to torture us. There's at least 2 cruises. There is a Florida and a, well, not Florida, it goes out of the port of Florida, and an Alaskan cruise. How
So
bad do
Smith,
we
you
all
listening?
want to get on that? We all need to be on that Alaskan
Yeah,
cruise because how fun would that be?
Mhm.
There's also more retreats. So Badgical, which is the event, this is the first event this year. It will be in August in St. Louis. Next year will be in Vegas. Dates to come later. And then she's doing some other things. So if you aren't in the group, go join the group if you have any interest in any of that stuff. And remember, they're not just bags. Like, So Badgical is a bag only event. So Magical, the retreats, like all the other things have different things. They're even doing a cosplay retreat, which like I don't do any of that kind of stuff. But
What's
if you're
that?
when if I'm wrong, sorry, don't yell at me. Like when you dress up and make things for like characters, like if you're
Oh.
into like Marvel or something like
Oh,
that, and they
okay.
do like those like Comic-Con kind of
Comic-Con
conventions.
type thing.
So she's doing, and I don't have any of
Wow,
the
she's
details
really-
of this, but because there's a lot of people in the So Magical community that make clothing, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of I don't know what the correct term is, character thing, like character related things. Like they make the ears when we're in Disney. They do a lot of
Mhm.
theme things for some of the different classes. So if that's your cup of tea, these are your people. Go find them because you will definitely want to meet these people and maybe go to these events. Aside from that, there's no other details. All we got were 2 shows with dates, and she's holding out on all of us.
Mhm.
But I'm sending all of my brain waves to Kayla right now, telling her, invite me to everything except the cosplay, because I don't fit into that world.
Yeah.
Unless you want to make a bag. I don't
Yeah.
fit into that. But it would probably be really fun anyway, because I'm fascinated by that stuff. I just don't understand it. I don't watch
Yeah.
superhero movies. I don't get into
No.
character kind of stuff. But the people that do, like when you see, they'll wear this
Yeah.
costume, and I'm like, you didn't buy that, you made
Yeah.
that. Like that, it blows my mind. I think it's very, very cool.
Mhm.
So not something that is like my brain doesn't comprehend it, but it's a really cool thing for a lot of other people. So that's it. It's 11:08. I'm done. So
Okay, question.
we have questions. Thank you.
Question.
Question. We have one.
No, we've got 2. 2 that I can see so far.
Okay.
Okay. More earrings.
More. That's not a question.
It's got a question mark on it.
It's not actually a question. It's more of an accusation. More earrings? I've had a lot of caffeine today. I'm not done. Yes. So
More earrings, I guess.
let me elaborate on that. I have 1 more week that I'm here. So right now, like today, until I get home from Tennessee, there will be nothing new added to the website because I am the one that makes and photographs and
Mhm.
does all the stuff for the earrings. Barb ships stuff, but I'm the one that does the
She
stuff
hasn't
behind
taught
the
me
scenes.
how to use the Glowforge yet.
I have not. No, I'm teaching Eric. Okay, we're getting there. It's okay. So yes, there will be more earrings. I am trying, but if I put anything new up right now, which just for your information, in case anybody cares, you as well, in case you want to know, it can take me an entire day to make and upload and photograph and do all that stuff to get that one
That I
part of a
know.
page done. It's very tedious. I don't have the time before we leave because I still have to do kits and finish packing and all that. When I get back from Tennessee, sometime in the beginning of July, after the 4th, there will be more earrings and more things added. I actually have something very exciting, but it's not ready to show you yet, but it's on its way. And then I will be
She
doing
always
some
says that.
cool things. It's like very close by. And then I will be doing some cool things that I think you guys are going to be excited about. But that is the teaser I have for you because I can't do anything this week unless it revolves around making kits. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Next.
Yes.
Any new cork?
Again, not right at the moment, but there will probably be a decent restock when we get back from Tennessee because there always is after we're at a show. And I try to throw in a few new things whenever I order cork because it's just fun to get restocks, but also new stuff. So I definitely have kind of a list of designs and some new things that I want to do. Will they be here right now, immediately? No, but there's always new cork in the works. I am working on designing some pieces, and also their catalog keeps expanding and expanding. So I will definitely look through and order some more new things. So, oh God, she's laughing.
Oh, they do say that you need to give your employees support to make them happy. So that's why you take care of Eric's feet.
Oh, I was like,
We're back to his feet.
if I give Barb any more
I
support,
know.
like I'm gonna just climb
Yeah.
on her back and follow her around everywhere. Barb gets a lot of support from me, and so does Eric. Don't worry, he is not unsupported. I'm just saying, maybe I could get some of the credit. That's all.
You do.
I don't
I
get
give
any
you
of the credit at home.
Oh, this one you're not going to hear, but I'm going to ask it anyways. 4th of July earrings. Mm-mm.
4th of July earrings are not going to happen because, again, time.
Time.
And I had every intention of that, but it is not happening
There's
right
only
now.
so many hours
There's
in a day.
exactly. If I got them up, I don't want to promise that they will get to you by the 4th, because guys, we only have a week left. And I know that that sounds really crazy, but I have a week, like it's the 16th.
Yeah.
We have next week in order for me to make them and ship them and photograph them and do all that stuff. And then I'm gone, and then it's the 4th of July. It's coming way too quickly.
Yeah.
I literally don't know what happened to June, because
I don't know.
it was just the 1st, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden we're more than halfway through.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, there will not be any 4th of July earrings this year. It was on my plan, but my plans fall apart quite a bit. So I'm
Well,
sorry.
this is just a nosy question.
That's okay. I don't mind.
What kits are you making?
So my classes for So Magical for all 3 this year are the same, because we do get quite a bit of new people at different locations. So I am doing the lined boxy pouches. They have cork outside, and then the interface cotton on the inside. And then I'm doing Sydney, because those were the 2 classes I did in Texas. And those are the 2 classes I will also be doing in Florida. You have to remember that So Magical events tend to do smaller time frames. And at the show, because they want to do as many classes as possible, I'm usually in a 2-hour time slot. So I can't do anything big. I don't want to start you on something and have you leave with like a handle done. Like I want you to be done or so close to it that you're comfortable to finish it on your own. And a boxy pouch and a Sydney are totally doable in 2 hours. And if you don't finish, you're so close to the end that like you need another 10 minutes and you're done. So that's what I've been making kits for. I'm trying to get all the cotton cut so I can cut the interfacing so that Eric can fuse all of that. That's also his job. So, because he likes using the press.
I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, we do have another question.
Ask me. I'm
Thank
ready.
you, Christy. Does Gold Star or Cam Snap make magnetic snaps? I can't talk.
Okay. I might be mistaken. I believe that they both do. I don't know enough about them because I've never bought them. The only thing I know with certainty, because I bought them and haven't used them, is that Cam Snap makes a magnetic snap that's also a rivet. So usually when you use a magnetic snap, it has like the washer, and you want to hide that because it's kind of ugly. Cam Snap has a special rivet. I forget what the magnetic rivet, I think she calls it, where it's actually pretty on the other side, so you don't have to worry about hiding anything. And then she has a special die set. I believe they both sell magnetic snaps as well, but I do not know for certain. I don't know sizes, colors, any of that, but I'm pretty sure they both do.
Tammy says Cam Snaps makes magnetic snaps, but they add bulk.
Yes. A lot of magnetic snaps are very thick.
And Linda Shell says she got them from Cam Snap too.
Yes. I don't have any issues with magnets. I do use them, here and there. I don't use them in a lot of patterns. It's something that's interchangeable. Anytime you have a closure, just because the person who wrote the pattern says that they use a certain thing, 9 times out of 10, you can swap out something different if that's not what you have on hand or it's not what you like. I have definitely, called for a twist lock in a pattern because that's what I was using and what I liked. It doesn't mean you couldn't swap it. Just my only beef with magnets is that like we sell really small, thin magnets. They're not the strongest, because that doesn't really affect your credit cards. And I use them on like the Daybreak or on a Sydney or something small. If you're putting one of those big, really strong magnets in, be careful with your credit cards, but also they're thick and they do add bulk depending on where you're adding them. And you want to really make sure that you reinforce, because when you have prongs, like this is a push lock. When you have prongs like this and I'm pushing this in and out, it's not putting a lot of stress on it. If this was a magnet and I'm pulling them apart constantly, it puts a lot of stress on your fabric and on whatever is holding this in. So just make sure you reinforce them properly, especially those heavy ones. They're nice. Sassafras Lane, Christy and Shayla are friends of mine that I've known through quilting. They have a bunch of different colored magnets and they're really nice. They're not super, super thick, but they're not thin either. But they have different colors if you want to mix in and you're going to see the magnet. We just sell the little thin silver ones because we don't expect that you're going to see them a lot. So it was a lot about magnets.
It was.
It was a very magnetic conversation.
It was.
Charlie's not here. I had to say it. He would usually say it's a riveting conversation.
Exactly.
Charlie, I don't know if he's here because
No,
usually he can't be because of his job, and jobs are stupid.
Yeah, really.
Jobs are always getting in the way.
He works from home, doesn't he? Yes, he works from home. I think.
Sometimes I don't know. I think he has a meeting, like a meeting at 11.
So have your iPad next to you. Do what Shayna does. Shayna does ripping during. Ooh, I hope nobody from her place is watching.
I doubt anybody in her field who wants to do anything in ours.
Okay, we do have another question.
Please keep them coming. Otherwise, literally, we're done.
Teresa says, "Are there any of the cork fabrics made with materials unsafe for laser cutting, or are all of them safe?"
From my knowledge, and I have not found, they are all made the same. Their backings can vary, and I'm talking about all cork fabrics, not just the ones we sell. The backings can vary. If you have a backing that feels rubbery in any way, I might avoid that one. Most of the reason, and in case you're not sure why she's asking, or in case you don't know, most of the reason that you would want to avoid an unsafe thing, it's, yes, you can cause fires, but more than that, it's the fumes. So I've had people ask me if I can cut vinyl, like any kind of vinyl, whether it's like adhesive vinyl or like bag vinyl. Vinyl causes toxic fumes. So even though my Glowforge and my laser are like, they're vented out the window, it can still cause fumes. Barb knows, like even with the vent, you'll still smell a little bit depending on what I'm cutting. All of the cork that we have, I have cut in there because I cut the Sydney kits on the Glowforge because it's way quicker. And all of our backings are poly cotton. And then the cork is cork, and there is no issue. And there's really no fumes. You don't really smell anything at all with the cork. So if you have a laser, just be careful. That's why they recommend that you do certain things on die cut machines, because there's no fumes. So, but all of our cork you can put in a laser. I have. So.
Oh, next question. Are tumblers being shipped?
We only have like 2 tumbler orders that haven't shipped out yet.
Yeah.
So yes. Yep.
And Beth says she's sipping out of hers right now.
Aw, I was sipping out of mine earlier. I left my beverages over there.
Yeah.
But I use the ugly ones that didn't make the cut. Those are the ones that I get. They're not ones that I want to bring in public and advertise that I made them.
Yeah,
those are the ones that I use.
Give me one of those.
No, because I don't want anyone to see it. I don't want you taking it to one of your retreats and someone going, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't buy that. It's terrible." You know. Listen, we got Gary Smith on it, checking them out, checking, making sure that that everything looks good, seams are good. You know, he's like my quality control person.
There you go.
So got to make sure everything is good.
Okay, question number whatever.
Question number 85. No.
Can we get some Gothic cork with red roses and lace?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. We don't
Instead
have
of skulls.
Gothic. Roses and lace.
Roses and lace.
I can work on that.
In red.
In red. In red. Very specifically.
Uh-huh.
We want Gothic
hang on
cork.
a second.
Okay.
Where did it go now? Barb, what does your shirt say?
Oh, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And I'm not going to sing it because I don't sing in front of people. I would shut the internet down.
Me
not
too.
in a good way.
Me too. Uh-huh.
But I'm just telling you right now, when no one's around and I turn on the music here, the acoustics are wonderful. I do sound really good here, not in front of other people though. Like karaoke is an absolute no for me. I don't know what, isn't it weird? Because I was thinking about this the other day. I talk in front of people and I don't have any issues. I'm never like
Exactly.
weirded out
No.
by my voice speaking in front of people. The thought of singing in front of even just you
Yeah.
makes me want to throw up. Like I just, I don't
agree.
know why.
I
It's
agree.
just my voice just presented in a different way. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I can't.
Yeah,
Ooh.
no. Mm-mm.
Haley, you remember Haley?
Yeah.
You guys never met her,
Yeah.
but Haley has a very pretty voice. And her senior year of high school. So I remember me, my senior year of high school, I had no confidence whatsoever. This girl, like 17 years old, gets up and sings an entire song in front of her whole school, parents, and everything in a talent show. And I was like, and then she says to me, I don't even know how I did that. I'm like, I don't either.
Yeah,
Because I would
really.
have been like,
Yeah, really.
no. But, some people are braver than others.
Uh-huh.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see anything that you guys are
Will
saying
you
at
have
all.
puffs at SME?
Yes. I'm waiting for more to come in because our stock is getting low since we're selling them to all of you on the internet. But yes, I'm going to bring as many as I possibly can. Yeah.
This is a deep question now.
Oh.
So put on your thinking cap.
Okay, I'm ready.
Get serious now. What do you feel was the biggest learning curve to having your own business?
Oh my God. That's deep. Wow.
That's a tough one.
Because there's so many ways to look at it. There's so many different ways. Like the business itself, what I do, in designing things or just owning a business. The biggest learning curve is learning how to budget because you don't have a steady paycheck every week. When you have a regular 9-to-5 job, that every Friday or every other Thursday or whatever, you're getting a paycheck. You know how much that paycheck is. Sometimes maybe you get overtime. Sure. But you have it all set for you. It's already done. You know how much you make in a year, in a week, in a month. When you are a business owner, between running your business and your personal life, it's hard to know because business goes up and down constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this the other day. It's like I could have a regular job with a regular paycheck and be somebody's employee, or I can work for myself and have all that freedom and have good months and bad months, have good days and bad days. So I would say the biggest learning curve is trying to figure out your own budget. On top of that, because of the type of business, is trying to retrain yourself that it's not always what you want, that you have to look at your customer base. You have to be willing to do things and provide things that maybe aren't your favorite. It happens to us all the time. We look at cork and I'm like, I don't love this one, but it sells well. So who am I to deny that? Or, and not so much with patterns. It's very hard for me to design a pattern that I don't like. I like every one of my patterns in a different way for a different reason. I might not like them as much as new ones come out, but I've never designed a pattern where I'm like, this is garbage and I hate it. Like, absolutely not. But I have brought in product. I have brought in prints. I have done a lot of things where I'm like, this is not my cup of tea, but I have to learn to be very open-minded to reach an audience, because if I only reach the people that think like me, the audience is real small, and that's not really a thriving business.
You and I think different with a lot of things.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the good thing is that we think a lot alike on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But having two very different trains of thought, I've brought it, like, it was a few months ago. I got a couple of pieces of cork just to like see them. And I was like, I don't like this one. Do you? And you said, I really like it. I didn't like it. I was just like, but you saw it differently. And Eric also, because, he's a guy who's not a bag maker looking at it differently. And he's like, that's a really cool idea. And I'm like, but that's not a good repeat on a cork. Or, that's, you look at things differently. It's good to have other people around you and not just your customers. As much as I love my customers, and some of them have become very good friends of mine, which is, I know, don't mix business and pleasure, but I don't have any other friends. So it's really nice that like some of us have gotten to the point where like we're texting each other and we're talking and we know about each other's families and stuff. But those are not necessarily the people to bounce certain ideas off of, because they love me and they don't want to be like, oh, it's not the best idea. I don't want to hurt your feelings. And sometimes you have to be careful. And you don't care, but it's not in a,
not that I don't
but
care,
it's not like, I don't care. You're like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I don't like
I'm not
that.
hurting your feelings.
No, that's not your intention.
Yeah.
And the same with Eric. Eric is brutally honest sometimes, to the point that I'm like, okay, tone that down. That was a little bit mean.
Yeah.
But it's, you have to have a variety of people if you're going to be in any kind of business that doesn't have set rules. So like if you want to be an accountant, it's different because you have a set of rules to follow. For anyone in a creative business, whether it's selling product like we do or selling finished bags, trying to retrain your brain into thinking from and looking at things from other people's standpoint, that's a hard thing to do. I feel like I've gotten better at it. I feel like I'm still not the best at it, but I also don't have a team of 100 to make decisions for me where I'm just like, whatever. I am the one making the majority of the decisions. It's almost every decision.
It's all you.
So, there are some times where you're like, have you thought about this? Or like more organization, shipping kind of things where it makes sense. And Barb sees that because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Where for me, I'm like, okay, I don't like this particular thing, but I feel like people might like it. Let's order it, see how it goes. And then you guys love it. And I'm like, I feel justified now. Sometimes when I do order things and you don't love it, you would think that I would feel justified and go, see, I told you it wouldn't work. But no, now I'm just mad that I spent money and I can't get it back. I'm like, what do you mean you don't like this? So, wow, that was a very deep question. But yes, I hope that was a good answer for you. Business is tough. Business is hard sometimes. It's not for everybody. It's 100%. Not everyone is cut out to be a business owner. And trust me, there are a lot of days where I'm like, do I have the right to do this? Maybe I should just go get a regular job. Minimum wage went up. I can live. I can do this on the side. But,
Well, wait till you're retired like me.
I
don't have it, but you've got a retirement.
I'm a little too deep into this now to leave.
Know, just a little.
But,
you can't leave.
I really can't.
No.
You don't need me. They need me. To an extent. Also, I need something to do with my time.
Although, I don't know. I need to get trees taken down.
You do, yes. Barb's going to be hanging out here for a long time today. Shipping orders real slow. Like, Barb, it's 7:00. Go home.
But we got a $14,000 tree bill.
I can't. I need to cut trees down. I'll do it.
I'm not doing $14,000.
You can pay me for
that's
it.
For sure. Yeah. Eric and Sean can go out there and do it. 100-foot trees.
We got life insurance on both of us?
Yeah. You got it.
Oh, we are terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any more questions?
No, just
no, there's not.
Oh, dear. I don't know.
Yeah. So, yes, I hope that none of you or anybody that comes into this ever hears any of these bits of conversations and thinks like, oh, she's so ungrateful. She doesn't want to have a business. I'm not complaining at all. I honestly could walk away from this anytime I want to. I'm an adult. I can choose anything that I want to do. I do love having a business. I do love being creative. But the days, the weeks, whatever, that it's slow or things aren't going well or people are beating me up on the internet, those are the days that I'm like, I don't know if I have it in me. Sometimes I have to walk away and go and just leave and just go home. I said this to Eric not that long ago. I have never once honestly thought about quitting and just being like, this is not for me. I'm just going to, my lease is up. I'm going to leave and walk away and I'm just going to sell all the rest of the stuff and I'm just going to go get another job. I have never once had that thought. Does it pop into my mind every once in a while when I'm having a rough time where I'm like, oh, if I had a regular job, I'd be getting a paycheck. I'd be going home at 4:00. I wouldn't have to think about it. I'd have weekends off and I'd call it a day. But I tried that and it didn't work. I'm not a bad employee in the way that I will get my work done. I will come through for you. I will make sure deadlines are met. I am not good at being micromanaged and told what to do. If you trust me, let me do my work. And I always had people that were like, they hovered. I don't hover over you. Like, I don't. And I think because I've learned from the bad stuff that I'm like, well, that doesn't work. Cause it just
Yeah.
made me less productive when someone was like, what are you
Same
doing?
with
What are you
me.
doing? What are you doing? And it's like,
That's how I
oh.
was too.
So
Yeah.
I've never once thought about quitting. I've just had those thoughts in my head where I'm like, would be easier if I didn't have to be in charge of things. But I've wanted this since I was a kid.
Mhm.
I met somebody when I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I don't know what he did.
Mhm.
I couldn't tell you. But the gist of it was that he owned a business. He was in charge of himself.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's so cool. I want to do that. And I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
what that translated to, but I was like, I want to do that. I want to be the boss. I want to be in charge of stuff. That sounds great. I didn't know how that would ever work in my life, but I was like, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Like, you
Mhm.
don't have a boss? Because
Yeah.
when you're a kid, everybody tells you what to do. And you know that in the real world, there's more people to tell you what to do. And I was like,
true.
well, it's just
Yeah,
the way
that's
it
for
is.
sure.
So, you
Yep.
know,
Mhm.
that's my tangent for the moment.
There you go. There you go.
The other thing, I will just say this too, because this is a conversation in my house. It's always been a conversation, but it has been a lot more lately. So, in case you missed Jessica 2022, we didn't like her. 2022 was horrible, and we had a lot of things going on. And one of the takeaways from that was that we need to be more important to ourselves. We have to be priority instead of
Mhm.
work and customers and everything will fall into place if we care about what we have going on and make ourselves a priority. We have bills to pay. We have health that we have to take care of. We have our things. And so pretty much for the last year, Eric says it constantly, and it's so drilled into my head, is that it's your life, it's your rules. It's your business, it's your rules. And I
Mhm.
broke that. I broke that
Mhm.
recently. And I don't normally do that. When you want something from me, the rules are all set. You want to order something, it's on the website. You want me to do something, here's how it's going to work. You want me to come somewhere, here's how I get paid. I've been doing this. I've been teaching for 18 years. I've had my pattern business for 12 years. Yes, I was teaching way before I even wrote patterns. I already know how I want it. It's this, here's all the rules. I let somebody infiltrate that and play by their own rules, and I stupidly agreed to it, and in the end was miserable. And Eric is like, it's your business, it's your rules. When someone wants you to do something, you do it. Just like anybody else. It's the way that it is.
Mhm.
That was the biggest thing and it was this year. It literally happened within this year. And I just kept saying, you made a bad decision. You can't be mad at them. You let them make the decision for you, and you're upset about the decision. So in business and in life in general, it's your rules. And if you're letting someone else call the shots, that's when you're not happy. And that has been constant in our house.
Mhm.
Your rules.
Yeah.
You decide. So that's all. I have nothing else.
Off your soapbox now.
Let me get down. Let me step
Only
down.
kidding, because it all makes sense. It's all
But
true.
it does all make
It's
sense. And if
true.
you want to be in any kind of business,
It's
you want to be a
true.
business owner of any kind,
Yep.
you have to set boundaries and rules. It's just another
Mhm.
relationship in your life. If you're not happy in a relationship
Yeah.
and you didn't tell the person you didn't like something, like, that's on you. You have to make those decisions. I made a bad decision after doing this for way too long and telling myself, you're smarter than this. Why did
Mhm.
you allow someone? I got interviewed. And I don't mean interviewed. I got like you know what happens when you go to an interview and they're like, here's all the best parts about our business.
Oh, yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
all the wonderful
Yeah.
things that are going to happen for you when you come work here. And you're like, really?
Wow.
That sounds great. And week one, you're like, those were 90% lies. I pulled the wool right over my eyes and was like, look at all these wonderful opportunities. And I was like,
Yeah.
really? And then I went, oh, okay. I got bamboozled.
Then the truth came out.
And then the truth came out, and then it kept coming out, and then it just kept getting worse. And I was like, and shoot me. Does anyone want to talk about anything nice?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Teresa wants to know how long you've had your dogs.
We've had both of them since they were babies. Roxy is 8, and we've had her since she was 7 weeks old. Sad story about Roxy. She was basically like shoved out. They didn't want her, and breaks my heart. Her parents were too old and were supposed to not be together And then they got together and then they made another batch of babies and they weren't supposed to. And so she was the last one because they got rid of everyone that they possibly could. And she was the last one.
Poor
And
baby.
they basically were like, take her. We don't want her. And she is my best friend and I love her to death. And I will be so sad when she's not part of my life anymore. Zoe, on the other hand, doesn't like me, so it's fine. She loves Eric. Zoe just turned 6 and we had her since she was 8 weeks old. I think she was 8 or 9 weeks old. And people ask me if my dogs are rescues. In a roundabout way, I say yes, because we found both of them, one on the Want-Ad Digest and one on Craigslist, and they did not come from great circumstances. Zoe was in a really, really bad, horrible living situation, and I wanted to take all of the dogs with us. There was a mother and a father and another puppy, and I wanted to take them all because when we showed up there, I was so skeeved out by that place. I'm like, she can't stay here. She cannot live here. And so, yes, we've had them for 6 and 8 years. And we might be getting rid of them after Tennessee.
They may run away after Tennessee.
They're going to be like, why are you mad at us? We have to bring them with us to So Magical. It might not be so magical. It might be a long trip.
We got one more question about your dogs.
Okay.
Your pups, since they are small dogs, have they ever had anything wrong with their knees?
Wow. Roxy, no. Roxy is a Chihuahua. She has never had anything wrong. Chihuahuas do tend to suffer from luxating patellas, which Sam, yes, I know. I don't know any of this stuff. I just know what I'm told. Sam had a luxating patella, which basically means your kneecap pops out of place. And so he would jump and then fall. She falls maybe once a year because I think she just gets excited and she runs into things. She ran into the couch the other day and I was like, you good? Zoe was born with bad knees. Zoe is a Chihuahua Rat Terrier mix and both of her knees are bad and need to be fixed. And the last time we talked to the vet, they said on a scale of like 1 to 4, 4 being immediately needs to be surgeried. You know what I mean? Operated on.
Yes, because we just went
surgeried. Zoe's at a 3. So that is something probably this year that we have to address because they're just going to get worse. And when she runs, all you hear is pop, 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 pop. They never bother her. She never seems affected by it. But we can hear that dog from a mile away because both of her knees click constantly. So yes, we do have some knee problems. Luckily with one. Yes, you're dealing with that right now. Well, lucky for you, you're not dealing with it, but you're involved in it because they're in your home. Yes. Is he still quarantined?
He is, but he's very active for being drugged in quarantine.
The dog is at his max of drugs.
Oh my gosh.
But he's fighting it.
Oh, that dog does not stop jumping and trying to run. And
he's the older one, right?
Yeah. He's
not by much, but
3.
Yeah.
With the ACL repair. They had a plate put in his knee.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Yes.
Other than
stay out of it. The more you know, the less you need to know. Just stay out of it.
That's his second one.
That's right. Before you guys got him.
Yeah, the rescue did the other one.
I'm not sure how this is going to work because Zoe does not do very well with anesthesia. It makes her really sad. Like she comes home and she just whimpers for like an entire day. Roxy, on the other hand, when she had her bump removed, was as high as a kite. It was loving life. She was like, what's happening? Zoe just comes home so depressed and sad. Like, why did you do that to me? So, and I don't know if they're going to do one or both. If they do one, she may never want to go back in for the other one. I might be forcing this dog. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Hey, we made it to 11:39.
Wow. Cindy says her Sadie is a Yorkie who thinks she's a cat with 9 lives. Jumps all the time. It will cost me $5,000 to get her knees fixed. Yep, I've been there.
Yeah.
Not my dog, but that's what it was.
Well, Zoe, who has the bad knees, launches herself off of everything. So that's why the knees are not a problem for her because she jumps off of our bed. She's never once whimpered or like hurt herself. She will. I know it's coming. I have a cutting table that's, it's like normal cutting table height behind my love seat in between my kitchen and my living room. when I get home, because Zoe tolerates me. She doesn't love me, but we're on okay terms. She climbs up and gets on the table to like greet me. And she has jumped off of that table before.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, she's going to die. Like she's going to hit her head. She just jumps off and just keeps on going. She'll trip herself, but she never once
Yeah.
like gets all like, oh, and limps. It's coming. I know it is.
Mhm.
Don't yell at me for my dog launching herself off of furniture. I
Well,
can't.
that's the problem
I
with
can't
Bender,
help her.
because Bender was
Same.
so dense. I mean, because he's got so much muscle
Yeah.
that it didn't really bother him that
And
much.
she's just dense up here.
Yeah.
We're like, you're going to die. Stop jumping off
Yeah.
things. She's like, parkour. And then she just jumps. So
I don't know, but
I don't know.
I think that's it.
Is that it?
I think so. I see nothing else.
I'm sorry that I was not here to entertain you today. It's just, I have nothing to show for my week.
Nope.
I showed you yesterday my pile of stuff. I have been watching Friends and
Mhm.
eating snacks and cutting. That's pretty much it. And
You
packing,
better get back to work.
making my list. I make a list every time I go to a show. It's the little things. Like I know I have to bring cork, duh. But I'm like, oh, that little thing. Don't forget that. And I write
Yeah.
everything down. So I've been making a lot of lists. So that's all. I think that's everything.
That's all she wrote.
That's all I got. So yeah. I'm not trying to rush the end of the month or so magical. I'm excited to get there, but I'm kind of excited for it to be over so I can do other stuff. That
Mhm.
it has swear words on it.
Oh, you can't show it on swear words.
Oh,
Put your finger over it.
I can't. It's all over the whole thing. Somebody made this for me. It says, "Don't be a salty
GB.
female dog." And
There
it
you go.
has a matching zipper pull because
It does.
Mary Ellen knows that I like that kind of stuff. And
Uh-huh.
so she made this for me. I'm so excited about it. So yeah,
Is that vinyl?
it is. It's I don't know where she got the vinyl or zipper pull from. If she's here, she can tell you. I have no idea. But it's the what's that salt company? The blue container with the girl with the
Morton.
umbrella.
Morton.
I was gonna say Gordon's, but that's fish.
That's fish.
Erica's eating fish last night. It must be in my head. But yeah, I have socks with her on it that say something along those lines as well.
Uh-huh.
So yes, so this is mine.
It's very cute.
It's very cute. And yeah, and I wasn't gonna show it because it's got the swears on it. But at least it doesn't have like
Well, it's
the
hard,
swear.
hard to read.
It is hard
So
to
I
read.
don't think they could read it on that.
But it's
Unless
really
they
funny.
zoom
That's when
in.
you know that someone really knows you and they're like, I
Yeah.
made you something with swear words. And I'm like, yes, awesome.
Oh, a question.
Another one. Yes.
When you're in Orlando, is it so magical also?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I don't vend at quilt shows anymore because I don't feel like I fit in there anymore. So any of the shows that you see me vending at, those are So Magical. So if So Magical decided one year to do 12 shows, I'd probably be at all of them. They have 3 this year. They have 2 next year. I have every intention of being at them. I don't think Kayla would ever do more than 3 because she's doing all these little events. She was talking about it in her live last night about because we all listen to our customers. We want to thrive as a business, which means we need to listen to what you want. And a lot of the feedback she's gotten is that we're loving these smaller events. Not everybody wants to go to a show. They're crowded. Maybe I don't want to shop at vendors. Maybe I don't want to take those classes. Maybe I want to do like smaller things. She's been doing like retreats and little things this year. And this is the first year she's done stuff like that and they're going really well. So she's trying to do more of that stuff. And it's a really cool thing because it means that we can travel and you can travel and you get to meet new people, but it's not necessarily a show environment. I don't mind doing the So Magical shows because they're very different from what we used to do, but it's still a lot of work. It's still set up and take down. It's still standing for 8 hours. It's still all the stuff. It's just relaxing. Like it's not as like tense as doing quilt shows. Barb used to go to Michigan with me. Oh,
Yeah.
unless it was my husband with me, I always did all of the loading and unloading because the bins that we would bring were majorly, they were so heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And so Barb would be in the booth dismantling bins and I would be making trip after trip after trip because we had a van full of stuff. It sounds appealing to you guys. It was not that much fun. you would have thought that I would have been in phenomenal shape. I never was. I had a bad back. I had a crappy attitude, and I was
So, man,
sweating
you
all the
lifted-
time.
You lifted stuff that
The
just
things
blew
that
my
I
mind.
lifted, I should have
Yeah.
had muscular arms, and instead I had a broken back
Yeah.
that I was constantly having issues with. I had issues walking at one point
Mhm.
because my back was so twisted from sitting in a car and then constantly moving and then standing on concrete. So
Mhm.
those shows like that were literally killing my body. And now I am older and wiser, and I am 43 years old, and I cannot do that
Aw, you
anymore.
poor thing.
No, I can't. I can't do that anymore. I will do So Magical where we use our carts. We don't
Yeah.
use our cart. We
Yeah.
use like little carts, and we take
You
little
don't use
bins.
that big stainless steel.
I don't even have that anymore. It
plate.
wouldn't even fit in my car. If I put it in the car, nothing else would fit in
She
it.
had this big silver plate
It was 6
stainless
feet
steel
long. It
cart
was
that she would lift up over
Ah.
her head.
6
Put in that
feet
van.
long, 30 inches wide, because
Yep.
it would just
Heavy.
fit inside of a door frame, like a regular door frame, but you had to be going perfectly straight.
Yeah.
And it had a big handle, and you'd pop the handle off, and then
Mhm.
you'd lift this thing, which I'm gonna guess weighed 50 to
Oh, at
75
least.
pounds
Yeah. Yeah.
or more. And I would have to lift it over my head because it had to be the last thing in the
Mhm.
van. And there were men.
Yeah.
This is the thing that always men. They would either stand and stare at me
Yep.
and then go, "Oh, well, you're real strong." Or in the middle of me lifting it and struggling, go, "Do you need help with that?" I'm like, "Do you think I need help with this?" You're not like,
After she was
either-
halfway done with it.
either just go away or ask up front instead of going, "Oh, wow, that looks heavy."
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And it was never, women were always just like, "You go, girl," like wouldn't, and leave it alone. But the men, "Well, that looks real heavy." It is.
Mhm.
And I lifted it myself.
She did.
And I drove
She
that
did.
van to California back by myself.
You did.
And I don't want to do that anymore. So I only do So Magical shows, and I typically teach at them. I've taught at every one that I've been to. That means nothing for next year because you never know. I will never make you promises. Once I get my information in and they say, "Yes, you're teaching," then hopefully I'm teaching. Vending, I mean, they'll
Yeah.
take your money.
Yeah.
They're like, "Come
Yeah.
on in."
Uh-huh.
Vending is usually not like, "No, we don't want you this year."
Yeah. Mhm.
Teaching, as long as I get my stuff together in the appropriate amount of time, it's usually a given, but not 100%.
Yeah.
So that's that. So I think you guys have gotten really
Enough BS
stupid
from
information out of us today. We learned how to open plastic bags. We learned that Al Pacino is not dead, but he is a father. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to say this every single chance that I get, just to make sure that everybody hears it. We will be here next Friday. I am not even going to attempt to go live while we are in Tennessee,
Yeah.
because the last 2 times it didn't work, and then you all make sad faces, and then it makes me feel worse. And plus, I am actually helping. I'm teaching 2 classes and helping in 2 classes, and dog's husband. I just don't want to be out of the booth any longer than I have to be. I will do the normal. I walked around during the show, but I am not going live when we are in So Magical. I am not even going to try it because it just has not worked out the last 2
Yeah.
times. Maybe it's my phone. I don't know. It just doesn't want to cooperate. So I will keep saying it so nobody makes sad faces. But next Friday, yes. The Friday after, no.
Mhm. No.
All right. We're all done.
Off.
We're off. Barb is shipping, and I am cutting more interfacing. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next Friday. I don't know what the date is, but we'll see you.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.